This awkward intro is brought to you by Jethro's favorite thing in the world. Anytime we have to move the van to go get something or grab an item or whatever down the driveway. So, we're heading down the driveway in order to go grab a piece of scrap that I traded some labor for probably a couple of years or so ago because I was planning on making a headache rack for the Van-Haulen, but I wanted to run it for a year and figure out exactly what I wanted first before we decided to build something. Okay, so a couple of years ago I traded for this monstrosity. So it was the top of a roofing service truck was my understanding, or a car or something. And basically it was their mobile scaffolding. I mean, you can actually see the ladder that they welded in on the side. This thing sat over the top of a vehicle. I believe it was a Scout, if I remember right. But each one of these side rails is 100+ inches. So there's more than enough for a railing across there, a railing across probably just underneath the window, and probably some triangulation forward. That way at some point we can stick a winch right in there and make rollers for the end of that. I wasn't thinking about the fact that all of these tie downs stick up above the deck. So I'm gonna pop those out and then slide this thing up and get a little bit further on there. The plasma cutter that I use has an integrated air compressor in it. It requires no hoses, no lines, no nothing. Unfortunately, they've phased it out, but there is a new version I'll post a link for. Big thank you to those of you that use the Amazon wish list that's in the description of videos. This was on it. Somebody anonymously got it for us, and I can't wait to set it up in the gantry up above us. I have a thing for micro solar setups. I love them. I always have since I was a little kid. So I think what we're going to do is underneath the gantry here, I think we're going to put it right there for now and stick the solar panel on top of that, because eventually that set of solar panels is going to go across the top of the gantry. So I don't want to permanently mount it, but I am kid on Christmas excited to see what this looks like at night. Okay, Jethro, we got to start deciding on some design here. I think what we're going to do is lay it so it's like that, which gets it as close to the cab as possible, but still structurally strong. And I think we're going to come up and run right underneath the windows, because I need to be able to service the windows at some point. And right there is where the curvature happens. I mean, if I was skilled, I think what I would really do is actually angle it so it comes up. But I just don't have that much time or that much care to figure out all of that angle. The other thing is we're going to be mounting a winch right in there or up there. I haven't quite decided which one yet. And so we've got to brace under the winch all the way to this center beam. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I think a giant rectangle is just going to be the quickest and fastest get it done. And then maybe triangulate from here up to there in order to tie it in. You know, I could drill a hole there and I could mount tab right to the side of that. And then that would maintain me having these to use on the inside of that triangle and still get to my gas. You ever hear one of those snobby welders on YouTube talk about not burning it all the way through so that it's a full connection and everything else? That's what this weld is, and it actually shows why you should pay attention to that. I cut down both sides of this and it fell over because the center wasn't welded. And you can actually see the rust that was growing inside of that and would have eventually cracked the weld from the inside. I can also tell this was done with a stick welder most likely, because there are giant clumps of flux core that are still coming off. Flux, I mean. But anyways, so when you see all the snobby welds talking about perfect penetration and all that kind of stuff, this is what they're really talking about. If you're gonna build out of junk, you gotta get over the fact that nothing is gonna match up. I was debating having the bottom one facing out like this, so I could have these as tie downs, and then the top one flipped like this so I could weld bar across to have tie downs. But yeah, there's like an 1.5 inch difference between them, if not a little more on one end. So I gotta make some choices. The first choice would be I cut one of them in half and I clamp everything together, and then I weld it to be close enough. Got just about every clamp I possibly could on it after slicing it in half. We're currently trying to go the lesser of two evils. This one here has just a little bit of an arch in it by about 1/2 inch. But if we put it so the arch is towards the cab, then it'll act as a pulling point. Well, we're burning daylight. This is our first test fit. A friend of mine helped me with getting it up there. We got a board wedged in at about the distance I'm trying to be from the cab. I think what I'm gonna do is grind these off that I had on for tie downs that I never actually really ended up using. Grab the plasma cutter and torch out around where this bolt goes. Jethro is so mystified by the motion sensing light turning on. This thing is awesome, guys. Thank you so much. That is totally worth the $30. Jethro, make it go off. Come on, run in. Good job. That's awesome. I mean, look at all that light for us to work with. I'll post a link down below. They're like $30. Totally amazing light. Thank you, guys. If you've been around the channel for any period of time, you know that I swear by X-Bowl winches. Not a sponsor, I just absolutely love them. Bang for the buck for a $100 bill, you can't beat it. This plate that they mount on is like twice the thickness of most other plates. The roller is what it is, the hook and stuff is what it is, but another selling factor is these remotes. They work at like a solid 50 feet away from that transmitter box. So you can be anywhere around the vehicle in order to be able to run this thing and be in a safe location. They also have the standard override toggle switch, the AB whatever switch. And the other thing I like about it is that all of the connections are waterproof clip connections. This box itself, as long as it is going straight up this direction, is pretty well rainproof also. I will tell you, having used these in off-road applications, that box, if it goes underwater, will get flooded. So don't do that to it. I may have killed a few. I've got this scrap something, I don't even know what you would call that, but I ended up with like 10 of them. So I cut that triangle into little pieces that I can weld in to have all kinds of tie down and bungee points. And then I cut one of the triangles off in order to be right there, which is going to go over the top of where the winch is going to mount. That way, if I put a snatch block to that, I can pull from a higher point than right down on the deck. Now, keep in mind, we're not done. We've got to do some sort of triangulation from here to here. This is just so that it locks it down and it keyholes it on this bolt right here. So both sides are cut out in order to keyhole onto that bolt. This goes all the way through into a welded in pocket that's in there. So once we triangulate from there forward, there's no way this is going to move in this direction. I may or may not decide to make something that bolts in the center. I haven't quite figured out that. It wouldn't take very much to add it if I notice that the winch is actually flexing it, but the bow of this piece actually goes that way. So it's got to pull against the bow to be able to do anything. So I think it should be okay. John, why are you doing jazz hands? Alright. This is probably the last video clip I'm going to take before I paint it and put the winch on and everything else. So eventually the battery for the winch will probably end up in the back side of this, or it'll end up in this corner of the cab. When we built this, we made the floor piece right here a hatch that's removable because I was planning on a secondary battery living behind this light. So that's where eventually it'll get wired in. We'll use an RV battery charger from the front battery to a rear battery that'll run the winch along with standalone lights at some point. I also need to weld a couple of pieces right into here like these, because that sharp edge, you know, it just is what it is. So if I put one of these right there, then it rounds it off, plus it gives me another tie down point to work with. I've had enough of this project. This is going to be the 6th time I've had to lift this thing off, and it gets heavier every time. Yeah. Keeping with the budget, we've got leftover paint from when we did an acetone paint job with a sprayer on the cab and the frame, and this. This is the key to Rust-Oleum painting. These red-handled paintbrushes that come from Dollar General. I don't know what is different about these. I don't know what is better about these, but out of every cheap paintbrush I have ever used, these are the only ones I will now do Rust-Oleum paint jobs with. So grab yourself a pack of those. They are amazing. And I wanted to say thank you to those that have used our Amazon wish list that we put in the description of videos. This actually came off of that wish list like a year and a half or so ago. So I really appreciate you guys and thank you for supporting the channel. Everything was looking so pretty and the winch was looking beautiful. And then I noticed that crap. Alright, I gotta cut out a spot for that so I can be able to get to it and it can't ground out to the frame. But if that's my only quibble with getting this winch installed, I'm okay with that. The sun is coming down on day like 4.5, and I think that looks pretty good. If you stay for a second, I'll show you my emergency winch controller booster pack setup that if you use any of these winches, you really should have on hand. But I think from the front, that looks really good. It's inside of the rear view mirrors. And we're going to be actually putting on the other mirrors that come out a little bit further pretty soon. And this, the welded in points right here, I mean, those I think came out pimping. Those are really going to work out really well. And I like tying it in right here. I made this so it was easy to get to in case we catch the lifting cables on the 4-post lift are just barely able to clear this. So if for some reason this sticks out a little bit too far, I can pop those right out in order to be able to come past. Yes, it is that close on my 4-post lift when I lift this thing up. And here on the deck, we've got this, which I accidentally wired backwards, but now I have pluses and minuses drawn on everything. So this ends up being in. There we go. So that let us test the winch, double check everything. So what I have here is I have this RUGCEL. I don't know. I've been using these for like 6 years. They go on sale on Amazon about every 3 months or so when they have an overstock. They are always in the Christmas sales every single year, so I buy like 3 of them going into winter. And it's just this right here. I got a piece of cutting board from Dollar General with a couple of bolts right through it. And then this is a EC5 terminal adapter that goes to the booster pack. And so it replaces this with this. And the cool thing about this is, A, it lets me have a remote control that I can literally run around with and control every winch on the property. The other thing that is cool about these is that if you buy these pigtails, then you can put this in line with the battery on your vehicle. And if the battery gets too low or anything, you can plug this in to be able to start your vehicle and all the other stuff. So I think that is pretty cool. And I've been using this kind of setup for quite a while. Now, I know the comment section is going to tell me this is dangerous. This is only uncovered and not taped together so that you guys can see it in video. Normally, these live inside of a ball of electrical tape. Alright, I'm tired. Let's call this a video. Alright, we're at the end of this video, and I'm here to say bye-bye and thank you for following. There's no John, no Jethro, no Jesse at the end of this video because apparently it's summertime and they have to go to a beach and they have to play in the sand and they have to go catch hermit crabs and all that fun stuff. Well, I'm here dealing with a black vehicle that every time you touch it tries to burn you. But that's okay. You guys got a video. They got to go have fun. The bills are paid. And you guys are awesome for sticking around to this point of the video. So, have a good day and thank you very much.